Hey guys, it's Mike and that guy.
Hello.
We are driving to the venue. We're on tour right now. We have a show tonight, and we had an opportunity to answer some questions for our fans in Brazil. Two fan sites were chosen, Linkin Park BR and Road to Revolution BR. These are questions selected exclusively from our Brazilian fans. So thank you guys very much for sending in questions. These questions are from Road to Revolution BR. Linkin Park is known for changing musical directions from album to album, keeping everyone on their toes. You said at one point that you were unhappy with the current state of music with indie and pop. What made you end up going with an aggressive, harder rock sound on this album? You want to answer that one?
Sure.
Okay.
I think for us, when it comes to writing music, a big component is what is happening in the studio at that moment in time that is getting us interested and excited to play our instruments and excited about the studio process as a whole. I think a fundamental element of the creative process is, at least for us, that in order for something to feel creative in general, it needs to feel kind of fresh and new and different, either from what you've been doing or also maybe from what you're hearing that's existing in the world at that time. And so, at least where we're at in LA, with the pervasion of kind of alternative rock that's happening at rock radio in different places, with that kind of stemming or moving in more and more of an electronic direction, and currently being a little bit towards the sleepier side of the spectrum, I think we were just really hungry and excited for sounds and for music that was more aggressive, more extroverted, and that's the stuff that Mike started bringing in that we really were all gravitating towards.
Question number 2 is about collaborators and contributors. How did Rakim and Darren Malakian and Paige Hamilton and Tom Morello appear on the Hunting Party? And they say, that's quite an impressive list of guests. Thank you, Road to Revolution BR. And whoever wrote this, I don't know, it doesn't say who wrote that, but I too am impressed by those collaborators, because those are guys who, in some form or another, I feel like influenced us at some point along the way. Rakim being, for me, an obvious one. I grew up on his music. And then Paige from Helmet. I think Helmet's music was an important like inspiration on the kind of tone of this record and the approach to the guitars and some of the writing. Darren came in and just we hung out, and we wrote just this awesome song together. He came in with this killer guitar part. It was just so organic. And Tom, it was really fun because when he came in, it was more about the experience. It didn't actually turn into much of an actual song. It didn't really, no lyrics or anything really happened, but it was more about hanging out and learning how he writes and telling him how we wrote and how different those things are, because he's more of a jam-oriented writer, and we're more of a like build by Lego bricks kind of approach. Overall, it's the first time that we've had obviously so many recognizable contributors on one album. Our attitude was just that, we're actually pretty versatile when it comes to creating sounds, and in some cases, rather than creating a sound that sounded like something, like, oh, I want to have on this part, like, wouldn't it be cool to have like a Tom Morello-ish guitar? Rather than estimating that, why not go to the actual guy who does it? So that was kind of the thought process and why we ended up talking to those guys. Last question. With the Hunting Party, we see something interesting from the band we've never seen before, a self-production credit. The self-production credit, I think we can both say a little bit about that. For me, it was just the fact that we were working on the album and had a very clear picture of where it should go and what it should sound like, and I felt like we had that under control, and just the day of choosing a producer to work with kind of just came and went. I just didn't feel like we really needed somebody else to help us get there. I guess lastly, just thanks you guys for supporting the band, supporting a rock album like this one at a time when a lot of people are, especially with, you know, the stuff you hear on the radio and stuff that goes on, like I feel like when you turn on a music show, there's very little rock being represented in those shows, and so your support at a time like this is more important than ever. So thanks for hanging with us, and we hope you guys enjoy the hunting party. We love Brazil.
Muito obrigado, brasileiros. And
Viva Brazil!
And Copa Mundial 2014, USA.
USA!